Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So let's address the obvious. I am in my living room slash kitchen, which you see behind me, because this is actually where I do this activity. Today I'm going to be showing you how I clean my brushes. I'm going to walk you through all the different products I use, the different methods and things like that, and personally how I wash my brushes. I do this about every 2 weeks just because I have so many different brushes I rotate through before I decide to clean them all at the end of 2 weeks. I figure I'm going to show you and give you a rundown of all the different products I use, and then we'll go into the actual demo of me cleaning my brushes, if that sounds good to you. So yeah, if you're interested in learning how I do this, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I post, typically Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on. As you can see here, I've laid out all of my brushes. I think it is super important to have a clean towel laid out on your counter, floor, wherever table that you are washing your brushes, just because with the device that I use, things will get everywhere. But I have all the brushes that I've used over the past 2 weeks. So a lot of eyeshadow brushes, a couple powder brushes, and a couple of beauty sponges. I want to show you the brush cleaners I use. So I use this EcoTools makeup brush shampoo. I believe it was under $10, maybe between $5 and $10. And I like this because it is a liquid cleanser. It's all natural and it has a really nice fresh scent. You do get 6 fluid ounces. And then for a deep clean, I like this BeautyBlender solid cleanser. Essentially just a white bar of soap that I rub like my foundation brushes or my beauty sponges in that I can't use with my other cleansing device. And this gets out like 99% of the makeup. It's so good. And then this is what I like to call a brush egg. It's from AOA Studios, so I got this on Shop MissA for $1. They have a bunch of different colors and stuff like that. This is really great because its texture really allows you to, I don't know, just like rub your brushes so that the makeup really comes off. And I use this at my sink. And then we move over here to the main guy. This is something that I got off Amazon. They have a bunch of different varieties. It comes with this little bowl where you fill with water, and this is where I pour this soap into. And this is an electric brush cleaner. I'm obviously going to show that to you for real, but I want to give you a rundown of kind of like my work sink. Hello, there I am. And I'm going to fill this with water, and it's important that you don't put too much because then it will overflow and become crazy once you start washing. You'll see what I mean. So before I fill this with water, I like to add this EcoTools brush cleaner. I do maybe 1 squeeze just like that. So you have a little bit, and obviously it'll foam up once you add water. And then I will go ahead and turn the faucet on just for a little bit, and I'll fill it till it's about 1/4 of the way. So now that we've got our bowl filled with water, remember 1/4 of the way through, I'm going to show you how I actually wash my brushes with my little spinny cleanser that I just showed you. And I don't really do this for every single brush, like not every single eyeshadow brush. I'll basically show you kind of like my lazy girl hack at the very end, but I do this more so with like powder brushes and things like that that have a lot of product built inside that need that like spitting action. Also just because changing out these different size inserts can be a little bit cumbersome and it's a little bit hard, but I'm going to show you. For example, let's clean this Wet n Wild powder brush. This is a brush that it's great I use for bronzer, and I'm just going to take the appropriate size hole inserts from the ones that I have here that were provided to me. I'm going to stick this in here. You want to make sure it's stuck all the way and that it's not loose. Like, see how it's not falling out, because if it is loose, then it will just like flop everywhere and it'll fly over. So by the way, this is battery powered. So what I do first is I dip the brush into here just a couple times, and you can see it's already depositing some product. That's why the water is a little bit funky colored. Hi, sweetie. She's like, I want to clean brushes too. Hi. So what this does is that it allows the makeup to just kind of like fall out of the brushes naturally, and to kind of open up the brushes in case they are densely packed and have a lot of makeup trapped within. So then I press the power button, and then I hover this right where the brushes meet the surface of the water. And then you see that it's spinning and that it is opening because of the sonic action. And you see how the water level is rising? That's why it's important not to fill it up super high. And then it becomes really foamy. So I do this for a few seconds, I mean 30 seconds maybe, just to make sure that we really get the stuff out. You don't really need to move your arm that much just because this brush is spinning in and of itself. But once it's kind of done soaking and everything, I don't really have that much product on this brush because I did only use it for bronzer a couple times. I just lift it up, and do you see how when it hovers, this is how it's drying. It spins even faster, and it kind of attracts the soap up kind of like a vortex because of that spinning action. And you wanna hover it above the soap and water for several seconds so that it dries. And I don't find that it really messes up the bristles, which is really nice. And then once I feel like it's done, I press the off button, and voila. I just fluff it a little bit with my hands, and we have a clean powder brush. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to do this with a couple more brushes and fast forward motion just so you can see, because that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, you just kind of dunk it in so that it saturates the brush, press the button, spin for 30 seconds or so, dry, later rest. It's pretty easy for everything. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you my lazy girl hack for the rest of my eyeshadow brushes that I don't feel like putting in these holes. But basically, this is really good because it gives you a thorough clean. Now, I find that for foundation brushes, this isn't enough. Like, that's where I will use this bar of soap that I will show you. So for different brushes, I used kind of different methods, but this is kind of like my go-to, like, overall, most all-encompassing method. So I finished pretty much cleaning all of my face brushes with the exception of this Morphe, which is my foundation brush, because as I said, it's what I like to use with this for a more deep cleanse. So these are all the brushes that I cleaned with this contraption right here. Bronzer brushes, powder brushes, blush brushes, highlight brushes, etc. And these are gonna go over on the side because I am done with them. I do not need to clean them further. Now I'm gonna show you kind of like my lazy girl hack, if you will, with what I do with my eyeshadow brushes before we go and clean my sponges and my foundation brush and all that jazz. So as you see here, I have a lot of water left over from cleaning my other brushes. And while I could clean all of my eyeshadow brushes individually with these little extensions, it's just a lot of work switching them in and out. And I personally find that with eyeshadow brushes, I don't really need to do that as much. So I will literally just take all of them and dunk them into, oops, but make sure you dunk the right side in. I will literally dunk them into this tub of water, which comes with the little cleaner. And that way, while I'm cleaning my beauty blenders and stuff like that, these can soak. And that at the very end, all I have to do, you'll see, is just take these and just rub them like this. So I kind of get that deep cleansing action without having to constantly swap out these little inserts to sonically cleanse them. And for me, I find that that personally works. Obviously for you, if you feel like you want to swap them out to get a better clean, then by all means, go do you. But let's go ahead and I'm going to take you to my bathroom again. And I'm going to show you how I clean the rest of my things with these two things. Okay, so sorry you're at a really weird angle, but I had to put you down to show you how I wash my sponge. So I'm taking my BeautyBlender Solid Cleanser, and I'm going to take my EcoTools sponge. I actually used this to apply my foundation yesterday. I'm gonna show you how I clean it with my cleanser. So I'm just going to wet the sponge, dampen it as you would use it, and then I'm going to take my BeautyBlender bar of soap, and I'm just going to, as you can see right here, just start rubbing this in here. And don't worry if the product gets all gunky inside, because that's the point, but hopefully you should see the foundation just pour out. So once you feel like you've cleaned it enough, go ahead and rinse out the sponge, and then you'll see more product come out as you're squeezing it. And don't worry if it's like not 100% spotless, because I do find that some staining will occur. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Not bad, not bad. The lighting makes it look like these little scratches are dirt, but it's actually pretty clean, and you're good to go. And then your bar soap might look a little crusty with all the makeup and stuff, so basically what I do is I like to just rinse it out and then let it air dry. So don't screw the top back on completely if you're done using it. Just make sure that it's open so it can air dry. And now I'm actually going to clean my Morphe M439. This is a foundation brush, so it is going to be a little bit harder to clean out the brushes, which is why I like using it with this. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to really just rub it in here. And you can see a lot more product comes off right away. Also because I have been using this brush like pretty much almost every day. And then if you feel like you need to just get the stuff out between the bristles even more, BeautyBlender has provided this little matte thing to really kind of exfoliate, so to speak. But I like using my little brush egg, and I'll just rub this in here. The grooves make it easy to get out more of the product. So you can see there's a lot less product on, but there's still a little bit left, especially on this side. So I'm just going to go back into my BeautyBlender cleanser and just continue to just rub this bad boy in. Now you can see we're pretty much back to the brand new state. Bristles are clean, no foundations in. I personally think that this BeautyBlender Solid Cleanser is like the best thing you can get for a foundation brush, just because, like I said, there's going to be so much built-in liquid product that even the spinny brush cleanser I have won't really cut it. So now I'm just going to let it dry. Let it dry like this on my sink. Okay, so now that I've brought our eyeshadow brushes into the bathroom with our sink, and now that they've been soaking for a while, I'm just going to really just kind of dig them into the bowl a little bit more, just to really rub off any of the powder or whatnot that might be stuck in there. And then I'm going to just take it out and then take this dirty brush liquid and pour it down the drain because we don't need it anymore. Going to rinse that out, of course. And now I'm going to take the brushes, because they are still a little bit soapy, and I'm going to just basically rub them all over my sink like so, just to really get the rest of the product off. And then I'm just going to rinse them all off underneath warm water. And then we are basically done. And there we have all of our clean eyeshadow brushes that I used in the past 2 weeks. All right, everyone, and that concludes this video of how I clean my brushes. I hope that you found this demo / review of the different products that I use and breakdown helpful for you. Obviously, everyone cleans their brushes in a different way. These are just the methods that I use that work for me, but let me know how you clean your brushes down below. I would love to know and get a little bit more perspective on that. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hopefully I will see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye.